Hi, I am Rachel.
My name is Sel.
My name is Chelsea.
Hi, my name is Jess.
I can think of a couple situations where people have been surprised that I'm intelligent. And
You and me both, sister. You and me both. You would not believe the amount of times I've gotten, "You speak well for a black person." Sometimes it's, "You speak well for a nigger." I'm just laying it out there.
it's supposed to be a compliment, but it isn't.
It's assumed that I don't know what I know, despite knowing.
I mean, sure. I don't really know how to respond to that one. I mean, are you sure that that has anything at all to do with you being a woman and just more your particular environment? Maybe not every problem you have can be boiled down to "it's because of my vagina." Didn't think about that. Wait a minute. Didn't we already do this video before? No. No, I remember distinctly. There were like 4 women. They were sitting in a white room. It was all white, you know. They're looking at the camera, and they're all complaining about how their life was difficult because they had vaginas. No, we didn't. Oh, you're talking about that Jacqueline Glenn video with the fucking lesbians. What are their names? Bria and Chrissy? I think. I think. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. No, this is a different video where there are a bunch of women are complaining about why their lives are difficult because they're women. It's totally different. It's not the same thing. Oh, so that was why being a woman on YouTube is hard. And this next video is why being a woman in like reality is hard. Okay. I can make a prediction. I guarantee they won't talk about all the positive shit that being a woman gives you. Nope, they won't talk about that. It's always being a woman sucks. Yeah. I won't. Carry on.
So I like to shoot and edit and like technology, and I find that in a lot of kind of situations with predominantly men, like a lot of men talk down to you or are very condescending.
Now perhaps I am overanalyzing your particular choice of words, ma'am. But it seems that you said predominantly men. That would mean, if I can make the assumption, you are indeed implying that some of those people who were particularly condescending were also of the female persuasion. And if that indeed be true, ma'am, well then that would mean that some people are just kind of condescending. And men aren't being condescending towards you because you're a woman. It's just those men were kind of jerks and they do that. And the women were also condescending and just kind of being jerks too. But I don't really see how you could come to the conclusion that it's because you're a woman. I mean, if women are doing it too. That's of course under the assumption that by predominantly you are indeed implying that sometimes women are indeed condescending.
It stops you from actually being able to ask questions. That means I won't learn. So it's kind of like everybody loses in that situation.
If a woman spoke out something that was intelligent in a group discussion, she could be seen as someone who sees herself as above others.
Are you asking me? Are you asking me, or are you telling me that that's how some girls are perceived?
I've seen this with a few different girls, and I think it's always made me shy away from opposing male opinions in class, especially.
Are you asking me if that's why you shied away from your... I don't know. I don't know if that's why. Oh, I'm sorry. I know I sound like a dick. I'm making fun of her uptalk. You know, when it sounds like she's asking me a question, like she's not entirely sure of like what she's saying. It's actually kind of cute. I'm not gonna lie, but seriously, it's cute and annoying all at the same time. I wonder like if people, if women who uptalk like notice that that's what they're doing. I wonder that sometimes.
Women have great opinions. It's strange that we're taught not to give our opinions.
You know, here's the thing. Because that is true. It's true that some people are indeed taught to not give out their opinions. However, it's not a particularly woman thing. People are taught. You know, women aren't solely taught that. It's kind of a people thing. It's an issue that afflicts shy people, or people who, you know, are afraid of getting on other people's nerves or hurting feelings. It's not really a woman thing. You know, it's a male thing too. I used to be an individual like that as well.
I think women feel like they have to protect themselves, and the easiest way to do that is to not speak as much, to kind of go with the flow, so you're not making any changes to your social group or your workplace, even if they really could be beneficial for everyone.
Again, that sounds more like an affliction to shy people than it does to women. Unless you're saying this is my experience being a shy woman, because if you told me that you grew up being shy and like not talking to a bunch of people, I can't say I would be surprised in any particular way. I'm not sure if that's an insult. I wasn't trying to insult you.
I 100% have been thought of as aggressive. I think there's like ideas about what women should act like, and it's really frustrating because it's like all those things are very passive descriptions of femininity, which is irritating. So it's like you're always just gonna be aggressive. If you say like, hey, can you pass me that, instead of being like, excuse me, like if you have 5 spare moments, can you pass me that salt shaker? Like, I don't have time for that.
Well, no, ma'am. As a matter of fact, it turns out there are a bunch of particular ways in which you could ask someone to hand you something without sounding aggressive. It's all about your tone of voice. I don't know why I keep doing that accent. I don't even know if that's Midwestern or what. I don't know. It's weird. I was reading a comic book the other day, and I saw a character with a cowboy hat and thought he would sound like that because he was the villain. So now it's stuck in my head. I digress. The point that I'm making is you're not aggressive because you're a woman and you're demanding something. You're aggressive because you're being aggressive. That doesn't have anything to do with being a woman. It has everything to do with your tone of voice and your particular actions. Seriously, every problem that you have does not boil down to it's because I'm a woman. And that doesn't even make any sense if you actually think about it.
Most times that I ever act assertive or organized, I'm told that I'm aggressive.
This isn't a counter-argument. I just don't believe you. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. Why would being organized then translate into your being aggressive? And more than that, I guess we can highlight this. Is being aggressive a problem? Well, not necessarily. I mean, everything kind of needs context. Sometimes it's a good thing to be aggressive. So even if someone is saying you're being aggressive and an aggressive woman, that might be a good thing depending on the context. I don't really have a context, so I just, from your tone of voice, you are making it sound as if this is a negative quality, but it's not necessarily so. And again, I have to reiterate, I don't really see how this has much of anything to do with you being a woman. Maybe it's just your particular environment.
I was really excited to work this job. I was shadowing a male coworker.
Was he a coworker? You sound a little confused on that detail.
Who had been there for a few years, and he really did not like the idea of me pitching ideas. He probably saw it as stepping on his toes, and I was actually fired after a few weeks because I was too aggressive to the male employees.
I have a tough time believing you, of all the women on this panel, was aggressive, but okay, I'll take your word for it. I mean, I don't know. Again, maybe, not just maybe, the issue there was the fact that because you're supposed to be shadowing the person, you weren't doing your job very well, and they were like, well, if you're just going to go here and talk and try to uproot us, we can't have you. Maybe so, and if that's the case, well, then I can't really apologize on their behalf because I didn't do anything, but I do have to say that kind of sucks. But again, I don't know if you can come to the conclusion that it was because you were a woman. Maybe it was because you were aggressive. I don't know.
Am I talking over people? Should I be listening? Am I being too aggressive? Am I being too bossy? And it's something I worry about being. My mom is a really strong and wonderful woman, and who has definitely been called aggressive and bossy in a negative tone. And she's someone I admire and want to emulate, but that one part sometimes I'm like, oh, I don't want to do that. It's not attractive.
Yeah, sometimes, again, context is very important. You know, a lot of traits people aspire to be negative or always negative unto themselves, and that's not the case. Aggression unto itself is not negative. Hell, nothing. Okay, well, not nothing. There are some things that are negative unto themselves, but particular feelings and emotions, particular ways you handle situations aren't always bad because they're bad. Again, if you're afraid of being aggressive, then what you really need to learn is, situational awareness. When is it an appropriate time to be aggressive and push my opinion forward? when is an appropriate time to just sit down and kind of listen to what people have to say. I mean, for example, growing up, there are a lot of times people would have conversations I could not be privy to because I just didn't have the knowledge. I didn't have the information. So I couldn't talk to anyone about these particular subjects, say nuclear fission, or maybe even political subjects when I was younger, because I just didn't know. So all I could do was just sit there and listen. If I had some opinion, some stupid opinion, because I would have been ignorant at the time, it would have made me look ridiculously silly to try to butt into that conversation, try to say something. However, if we're talking about something that I do know, if we're talking about, what's the proper way to construct a narrative, what's the best way to build a character in a particular movie, if we're talking about a particular subject, say maybe mathematics, then I could go in and be aggressive and say, hey, what's up? Maybe I can teach you this, or I know this a little better than you do. I don't really say that, but the fact that I know more than them shows in the fact that I can contribute to this particular conversation. It's the time and place. It's based on the situation. If you know more than the person that's talking, maybe then it's a good time to be a little aggressive and say, hey, what's up, man? I know this X, Y, and Z. If you don't, then you should shut the fuck up and listen. It's all about the situation, and again, it's not about the fact that you have a vagina. It's just maybe you just don't understand situational awareness, and that's an okay thing. You can learn it, but it's not because you don't have this problem because you're a woman. It's just ignorance, and it's okay.
I think that's my tactic, is to dispel situations through being nice.
Yeah, that's reasonable.
It is beneficial in one's life to be polite. Do you know what I mean? To be kind to others, to treat everyone with respect, but those are like human things, and they're not related to gender.
No, okay.
The issue is why I'm expected to do it all of the time.
Because you're like a person that exists in a society, woman. Everyone is actually expected to be kind of nice to each other, at least here in the South. Up north, a lot of people are assholes. I wouldn't really expect much from people up north. I'm just saying.
In my experience, it's the men in my life that I feel like I have to tiptoe around more. When I have something that I want to bring up, it's like, how can I bring this up to them in a gentle way, even with family, that's not going to hurt their feelings or emasculate them.
At the behest of sounding like a right asshole, I have to say that sounds a little more like a personal problem than it does sound like what life is like as a woman. I mean, I'm just saying, it really does sound like that's an issue that plagues you as a shy person, than it is an issue that plagues a woman. Now, I guess maybe if his video had the caveat of saying, this is what life is like when you're shy and passive, as I would imagine more women are, because, well, they can be, yeah, sure, I guess this would be very interesting, but if you're under the guise or under the pretense that this is life as just a woman and we have to deal with this shit because dealing with men is hard, I have to say, I don't think a lot of your problems stem from the fact that you have a vagina. I think a lot of these issues just stem from the fact that you're shy and you may have low self-esteem. Again, I just don't think that it's reasonable to say that this is because I'm a woman,
No matter what, if you are speaking your opinion in a concise way as a female, even if you have a straight face, I find that you do have to sprinkle it with a smile, or else people are gonna call you a bitch.
So maybe it's just the type of people that you spend time with, because not everybody gets upset when a woman has an opinion. Yeah, seriously, I think maybe again that's your personal experience, and I can't tell you it isn't because I'm not you. I've never met you. However, I mean, I can tell you from my personal experience that when women talk and they know more than me, I listen. Hell, when I was writing my first couple of books, I would literally binge watch Karen Strawn's videos, and that woman hardly ever cracked a smile randomly, That woman hardly ever smiled or sugar-coated shit, and I still appreciated and learned a lot from Karen Strawn those past couple. Even to this day, I still learn a little bit from Karen Strawn and Allison Tiemann. So, no, okay, again, maybe for you've had to deal with that, but I don't think, again, that's because of you being a woman. I think it's more the type of people you were hanging around with.
I don't think it's a bad thing to be gentle. I think there's a lot of power and amazing things can happen with empathy and love and being a gentle force in the world.
I agree. No sarcasm. I truly and genuinely agree with what you said.
You know what? Why do women always have to be so on guard? And why do we have to go through all this emotional tumult all the time and walk on eggshells just so that we can live okay?
I actually have an answer to that question. It's because some people are manipulative and they want to take advantage of you. And to be fair and be honest, you don't always have to be on guard to protect your feelings all of the time. I think, again, situational awareness is a very important trait or a very important quality that you can learn going through life. And understanding when sometimes it's appropriate to be on guard and not tell people your business, and when it's okay to be open and reasonable and share personal details. I mean, I guess that's something that kind of takes more life experience. It's not really something that you could really just teach someone, and because situations are oftentimes different and people are different, there's no real set way in which you can learn this lesson of understanding who you can and cannot talk to about particular problems. However, I can say this, that's not a fucking woman problem. It's not a thing that only women have to deal with. That's a people problem. That's a people thing. Some people suck. Some people don't want to get taken advantage of or hurt by those sucky people, so they end up putting their emotions on guard and ultimately kind of suck to other people. It's a huge cycle that just affects humanity, not women.
I was in biology, so biology is often, and ecology has a large female representation, which is great, but by the time you're in grad school, it's definitely more men. I was working with one peer, and I had been working on my project for a year, and he was new, and before even seeing what I was doing was like, oh, I'll show you how this works.
Would it have not been possible that he was just being polite? Maybe he was just being nice, and you said he was kind of new himself. He didn't know you've been working on this for 2 years. I mean, I don't know, maybe he was just being nice. I don't think he was like, oh, look at this woman, I gotta go over there and help her out because she don't know nothing. I mean, if you're in grad school, you have to know at least something. You gotta know something.
All of my male peers have always been taken more seriously. When in a lot of ways, I don't think that they read as much as the women that I know. And I think that they frankly spew a lot more bullshit than a lot of the women I know.
Maybe. I don't know yet. I don't have any details to really criticize or combat that point.
And they get away with it. And it's just bred through confidence. So walking into a room, talking about their opinions, getting a good job, getting in with the right people.
Oh, okay. There you go with that detail. Well, that's totally reasonable. I mean, whether it's good or bad is up to you. I would imagine you're on it's a bad side. But yeah, you can actually, push a lot of bullshit through people just by sounding like you know what you're talking about in lieu of their ignorance. I mean, if they don't know what you're talking about and you just sound like you do, most people are prone to believe you because they don't know. Now, some people certainly do have bullshit detectors and automatically perk their ears up and say, I don't think that's true. But other people who lean more on the gullible side, will just listen to confident individuals and just accept what they say as truth. Especially, again, if they don't know what the individual is talking about. So, and it sucks, I guess, for you because you don't feel like, because you can see through the bullshit and you're like, I don't see how you're taken so seriously. But the truth of the matter is, you can actually take that as a learning experience. You can combine both the confidence of knowing what you're talking about with the confidence of speaking, and then you can go farther than those guys who just go by on their bullshit. It's actually a learning opportunity here, honestly.
I notice a lot of smart women who aren't offered the same things.
Again, I think I can retitle this video, Being a Shy Woman. Because all of your problems seem to stem from the fact that you lack confidence and a backbone. It doesn't really sound like your problems stem from the fact that you have a vagina.
There isn't this overlord who's like, you are a woman, 70 cents on the dollar. You know what I mean? It's more the way that we're socialized, right? So all the traits that are feminine are docile. So it's hard to ask for a raise or to demand your market value or higher. You're always taught to be as low-key as possible. And it's kind of frustrating because men are taught that aggression and strength and all these things are positive. It's a circle of behavioral patterns that men are taught, right? And some are to the detriment, but when it comes to money, it absolutely is an advantage.
Women are equal to men in intelligence and ability, and research supports that. But we get treated extremely differently. And
because you are different. Case in point, remember that story you told a couple minutes ago when the guy just came in and helped you out because he could, because he was a nice guy? Well, that shit doesn't normally happen to men. Most people don't normally see men in a weak or vulnerable position and think to themselves, hey, let me go help that guy out. It doesn't happen very often. And I mean, it happens, but not nearly as often as it happens to women. So while you're complaining about the fact that some guy came and helped you out, there are a bunch of men channeling their inner Kevin Hart, like,
help me, nigga!
And despite all of that, we're so resilient. We still bring so much to the world. We still are bringing incredible innovation and talent and joy all the time.
It's so hard. When you're a young girl, you walk this fine line of wanting to be attractive, beautiful, you want to be really well liked, you want to be smart but not too smart.
I don't really get that struggle for women. As if you can't be both attractive and intelligent at the same time. In fact, if you were intelligent as a woman, you would realize that you can use the fact that you're attractive to have a much easier life. Actually, when you really think about it, even the dumbest woman can come to a conclusion like that. You don't really need to be smart to realize that.
It's tough, and intelligence will probably take you farther.
You know, it might be a sucky thing to say, but the truth of the matter is, when you're a woman, if your primary objective is to live a carefree, comfortable life, no, being attractive will take you much farther than that. However, if your objective is to do something like meaningful and productive in the world, then yeah, she's right. She's right. So she's 50-50 on that.
That's how all the women CEOs of the world and people who are women that own companies get their power, is really by respect, and it takes a long time of being called a bitch. It's okay to not be liked.
Are you asking me, or are you telling me? I know, I'm being a dick. I know what you're doing. I'm sorry. It's just I don't really like the uptalk that girls do. It seems to be something that only affects women. I've noticed that. I've never met a man that uptalks. It seems to only be women. And again, that all seems to stem from lack of confidence in being incredibly shy and unsure of yourself. And I see that that's an affliction that normally affects women in that particular way, but it's still just overall just an issue for people. You gotta overcome being shy, not overcome being a woman.
I don't think you are beautiful or intelligent. Like, if you want a popping body, you can have that if you want to work out. If you want to be a neurosurgeon, you know, Ben Carson already delegitimized that, but if you...
Now, because he has different political affiliations than you do, no, get out of here. Get out of here, that bullshit. You can't take away the great things some man did because you don't like the political things he said. I scoff in your general direction. That's bullshit. Are you seriously? Like, no one goes, oh wow, this firefighter rescued 3 people from a burning building. Oh, but he's Republican. Fuck him. Like, no one does that. Why'd you do that to Ben Carson? That's bullshit. I'm sorry. No, screw you. That's shitty.
Want to do that for the people, then you should go ahead and do that. You know, whatever the variables in your life that you want, you can have it. And you just have to go ahead and get it. But you don't have to just be one thing.
Women are the mothers of everyone in the world. And I think that's a really cool thing to think about.
Just think about how much better the world could be and can be if more women are at the top running it.
I don't like that at all. What is so amazing and fantastical about the nature of being a woman that would make the world a better place if they ran it? Some women are assholes, man. Like, do you ever acknowledge that some women just kind of suck? Like, you can have an evil dictator that is a woman. You realize that that's possible, right? The world wouldn't just be better because women are in power. Can I at least get some qualities? Can I at least, I don't know, intelligent women? I don't know. Just kind women? Responsible women? Can I get some fucking adjectives with that? Because if you just say woman, well, what if it's a deceitful woman? What if it's an evil woman? What if it's a cruel woman? No, I'm sorry. The world's not going to be better just because women run it. That's bullshit.
Everyone should be a feminist.
No!
It's not a bad word. Women really do make everything better.
No, they don't. Some women, maybe. Some women make things terrible and horrible. Being a woman isn't just awesome by virtue of your existence. And that's another thing I find interesting. I guess I'll close the video out on this. I noticed the thread of this video is life is hard because of my vagina, or because I was born with a vagina. But then you end the video out with women are just magical creatures who just make the world better with their existence. And I don't really get that shit. I mean, either life is hard knocks for a woman, or life is great being a woman. But I mean, well, actually, no. Actually, now that I think about it, considering how reality works, life can suck for one woman and be great for another. So, no, that does work. I just find it strange how you try to vicariously absorb all of the shit that happens to women and say that the experience as a woman overall is terrible and bad, mostly because of men, actually. And at the same time, you want to close the video out with women are great and magical. It is a bit, the juxtaposition is a little strange in the context of your video, but I guess in reality, I mean, that is how life works. So, yeah, I don't know what I'm talking about. I digress. You know, that's the end of their video, and subsequently, the end of mine. I just wanted to say, finally, you know, life sucks for everybody. The underlying theme of this video, actually, is life sucks when you're a shy woman. And sometimes it can. It can be difficult to live life and get the things you want when you're shy. It doesn't really have much to do with the fact that you're a woman. It's just, you're shy. And that's okay. You can work on that. You can overcome being shy and lacking confidence. You just have to put effort into it. But your life isn't just shitty because you have a vagina. The quicker you get out of the mindset that your life sucks because you're a woman, the easier and better you'll be, because now you'll actually start being able to work on actual problems that are hindering you. So that is my message for the video. Hopefully you get something out of it. So with that being said, man, I certainly hope you guys enjoyed today's video. And if you did, man, go ahead and click the like button. Yeah, shoot, go ahead and click that subscribe button. Comment in the comment box below. As always, you guys have yourselves a great day. I'll see you cool cats soon. Adios.